My name is Jim Satterfield. I first came to Magnolia. I had knee problems, an ankle problem, and hip problems. They started me on a therapy regimen that was working very well, and Magnolia offered something different. Then they brought in this PEMF system. At first I was a little skeptical because, well, I just didn't think that you could just sit there and the PEMF system would make you feel better, but I was wrong. The first couple of times I didn't even really understand how it was working. I felt different, but I really couldn't. It's been so long since I felt good, I really didn't understand what was going on. So I kept trying it. By the third time, I could actually say that I felt good. When I left, even though they twisted me up like a pretzel, when I left, I felt good. And so I keep coming back. I mean, I think it's a very good system. I have it, I'm one of the ones that keep it up very high, and it works for me. Every time I leave here, I feel better. I feel good. And that's something that I haven't felt in a while.
According to figures released by the Institute of Medicine, more than 100 million Americans suffer from chronic pain, costing the U.S. economy roughly $600 billion a year in medical treatments and loss of productivity. Poor diet, lack of exercise, harmful electromagnetic fields from electronics, toxic chemicals, air pollutants, and environmental factors have all been proven to contribute to chronic pain and illness. The key lies right under our noses, hidden within the very cells of our body. When we look at the human cell, it functions much like a capacitor, accumulating and holding an electrical charge. Just as a cell phone battery holds a charge, the cells within our body are no different. According to recent research, as voltage begins to drop, pain and disease begin to manifest. Thus, optimal health is always defined by voltage. There are essentially 3 ways to re-energize our cells. 1. Physical exercise. 2. Natural spring water. 3. Raw nutrition. However, these 3 things alone are not always enough. We can quickly bring our cells back into balance when we add cellular exercise. Cellular exercise is based on the principles of pulsed electromagnetic field technology. Used worldwide and as a standard therapy in Europe for decades, PEMF dates back to include research from thought-leading innovators such as Nikola Tesla. In 1979, the FDA approved PEMF for use in stimulating bone growth, and in 1987 for adjunct therapy to treat postoperative edema and pain. In 2004, PEMF was used as an adjunct to cervical fusion surgery, and in 2011 for treatment in depression for patients unresponsive to medication. NASA used PEMF to reverse the bone loss and muscle degeneration experienced by astronauts. Today, cellular exercise is now available to the masses as the next step in the evolution of PEMF.
You know, some of my favorite stories, if you don't mind me saying, is when people have tried absolutely everything else and they're almost throwing their hands up in the air. They've almost lost hope. And when they hear how I describe the PEMF, it's almost like they can't believe it. It's too good to be true. So even with that doubt in their mind that they come in with a knee that is post-surgical and it's not getting the results that they had hoped, or it's affecting their life in some sort of gross manner that is even an interference to a relationship. And we can turn that around literally within minutes. You know, it's designed to do multiple visits, but we've had a lot of one-hit wonders too. And some of the elderly that had knee replacements, and they're comfortable and they're mobile and they're so very gracious that, you know, in the exchange that goes far beyond what they've compensated me monetarily. Or they come in for you know, one serious issue bad enough to address and pay for out of their pocket, but they wind up getting rid of multiples, which is really kind of a common thing, because this isn't a symptom specific or a condition or a diagnosis treatment. It's about providing the body with enough energy that whatever your nerves are trying to tell the body from the inside out, it actually is adapted. And if we replace the word adaptation for health, it's the same thing. So whenever I watch people with enough energy to adapt their life and it changes them, well, you know, we've both just experienced something. I get to witness some of God's work, and my patients get to get more than what they pay for.
My name is Holly Anderson, and I've been coming to Dr. Jesse for probably about 20 years now. I first met him through a friend who had some back issues, and I had some too, so she recommended that I go to him as a chiropractor. And since I had my knee surgery, I've been in constant pain. I've had a limp, which is embarrassing and painful. I feel like I wasn't able to do the things that I wanted to do. For example, if I'd go for a walk on the beach, I would be worried about how far away that I should get from the car because my knee might hurt too bad and I can't go back. So when I heard about the PEMF system, I read about it and kind of sounded too good to be true. But if Dr. Jesse has it, I think he's done a lot of research and wanted to come check it out for myself and see if I could get rid of my knee pain. And one of the first things that I noticed after a couple of visits was I had a lot more flexibility in my knee, and also I sit on my butt a lot at work. I have a desk job, sit in a cubicle, and it was honestly kind of hard to get up and down, just sitting so much, lower back pain, knee pain. And after a couple of visits, actually after the first visit, I noticed I felt more like a normal person again. And I never thought that I would feel that way. I was in constant pain. I had a friend that I told to come in here because she does a lot of yoga and different things like that, and she's really into natural healing, and she was having serious shoulder issues and just wasn't able to move. And she came in and gave it a try. And she was leaving after that and ended up coming right back in the door and said, "Will you do my other one? I can't believe how different that feels, and I can actually move." So I feel really good about telling people about it because I've been in here, I've seen other people's stories, and I've got my own story.
I've been coming to see Dr. Peterson for about 10 years. I have been using the Magna charger for since I believe it was June 18th was when I first started using that. Roughly it has been about one time a week that I've been using this. I started out using it a couple times a week for probably that month or so, and then we just kind of tapered off because I was doing so well. The day that I was introduced to the Magna charger, I was having some pain in my shoulder, both shoulders, but one was worse than the other. I had actually a tear. It was a rotator cuff injury that I had, and that was something that was picked up on an MRI, and so that was a known thing. I think I had received about 2 cortisone shots before I tried the Magna charger. What Dr. Mark said was we should just try it and see if it's going to help, because it actually helps with the pain. And I was having a lot of pain at that time. My range of motion was real limited. It was at about 50%. I was not able to get my arm up over my head at all. And so he put me on the machine. It was pulsing this energy into my shoulder. And he had me on it for about a half hour. Now before I was on the machine, we checked my range of motion, okay? And it was kind of at a level about halfway, about like right here. Then he came back after the half hour was done. I could not believe it. I got off the machine, and I never even expected to even do this myself. But he said, "Now what's your range of motion?" And I moved my arms up like this. I had them up, and I looked at my arm, and I couldn't even believe it. It was a miracle. I did not have pain. I could do this. I was starting to move my arm all over the place. It was fantastic. And that was after my first treatment.
The thing that I like the most about cellular exercise is the results. There's no other reason to have the machines if you're not looking to get results with patients. And it seems to help just about everything. We've seen tons of changes with our patients. You know, when I bought the machines, there were things that I was really expecting to see from the technology, and there were things that I wasn't expecting that we've seen. I've had patients who in 5 years hadn't seen their blood sugars under 200. And after 2 sessions on the PEMF units, their blood sugars were under 140 for the first time, like I said, in 5 years. I've had patients that had Parkinson's disease, starting to get lots of tremors, starting to lose their independence from that, and within 2 weeks, 4 sessions, no tremors. Those are things I weren't expecting. I've seen things that like I said, I was expecting to see. I have lots of knee pain patients. Patients coming in with knee pain, chronic pain issues. That's almost a slam dunk to help people with chronic pain. It's the other things that you just don't really expect to see that really just kind of puts the icing on the, the cherry on top, or the icing on the cake for us. So it's amazing. I would recommend anybody who's in the healthcare field who wants to see changes with their patients that they're not getting using traditional therapies, traditional modalities, that they get the machine. I mean, somebody comes in and they've got bone-on-bone arthritis in their knees, and they can't get up and down off the floor. And half hour on the machine, they're like, wow, I can bend my knee, I can squat a little bit. Now they're not going all the way down to the floor at this point, but half hour on the machine with no pain cream, no injection, no other therapies, and the patient's seeing an increase in range of motion. It's hard to deny that. I mean, it's hard to deny. Put them on a machine that just makes this clicking sound, has no side effects, and 30 minutes later there's an increase in range of motion. So they're impressed with it. It should be in hospitals, doctors' offices around the country. It should be something that people use on a regular basis to achieve better health.
Okay, we're here today with Linda. Now, Linda, what brought you into the clinic?
Primarily a horrifically painful lower back and a shoulder that I was told by 2 different doctors needed to be replaced.
Okay, and what kind of results have you seen to this point?
Well, my back is completely gone. I don't have any problems with that at all. And when I first came in here, it was all I could do to walk from one end of my little tiny 1,500 square foot condo to the other without screaming in pain. That's completely healed. And my shoulder, I would say, is about 70% better.
So you think you've avoided the surgery then?
I've canceled the surgery, basically.
Okay. And now you also were telling me that you were having some COPD, mild.
I was diagnosed last summer with mild COPD. I was placed on Spiriva, which is a medication that you use to basically control the disease. It doesn't help, it just keeps it from getting worse, as I understand it. And an inhaler, one of the puffer inhalers, which I was using, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a day, sometimes more, because I simply couldn't breathe. And ever since I started on this treatment, my breathing has gotten better and better and better, and I'm now not using the inhaler at all. And I chased down my errant dog in a parking lot the other day, and I was breathing better than my husband, who doesn't have COPD. So I would say it's made a remarkable difference in my life altogether.
Okay, and how many sessions have you done to this point?
I think about 13.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Is I've had extensive orthopedic surgery on my knees and shoulders, and subsequent long-term pain, and the pain is for the most part gone, and it's allowed me to go back and play golf pain-free. So that's kind of a dramatic result. If you have some pain issues, I would recommend this, because pain is so debilitating, and I've got a lot of relief. I had trouble putting my pants on in the morning or walking downstairs with my knees, and I'm in good shape in both those areas. With my shoulder, I had a lot of restrictions as to when and I could play golf and how much, and I would say I'm pain-free at this point in time.
Okay, we're here today with Carla. Now, Carla, you have gone through roughly 3 months or so of therapy.
Yes.
What did you come in here for? What kind of results have you seen?
I came in because my life was medically seen as a mess. I had the major things were actually my knees and my feet and my back. I could not walk anymore. I had to go probably in a couple months in a wheelchair. I could not do shopping anymore, nothing. The regular hospitals and the specialists I dealt with for more than 3 years, nobody was able to help me. And that is horrible. You get depressed, and I'm an optimistic person, but you get depressed at a certain time. And we didn't know anymore till I find out about functional medicine, and lucky I find Dr. Robert Gilliland in my area. And I tried it, and I worked with him for 90 days, and it is magic for me. I can walk, I can dance, I can shop, I can do anything I want. I just did a trip to Europe. I walked the airports. I was before always in a wheelchair, and it's an amazing thing. And he also did more treatments on what helped me for the rest of my body. And I have different issues, and where I came for is 100% done, but much, much more. I had pain in my shoulder, could not move it, it's gone. I was dizzy, I could not walk, gone. Thyroid problems, it's gone, it's under control. My thyroid medication is lower. 100%, everything. I cannot tell you how many things, but everything, the whole body, I got more energy, I feel younger, I feel happy. It's amazing.
I had 3 problems. I had sciatica, I had a knee problem, and I had peripheral neuropathy issues. The first thing that I noticed is my sciatica the pain started to subside. Also, the knee started to subside. I'm down to the peripheral neuropathy at this point, and that is probably almost at 90%. But I'm pain-free with sciatica, I'm pain-free with the knee. My golf game has improved. I've got better golf results. I was most improved this year, so that's great. My gait is better. I feel better. I definitely recommend this to anyone.
Okay, now
Good luck.
you've lost a bit of weight too, right?
And I've also lost 20 pounds as well, which is a yay.
Okay, so would you recommend this to others who are suffering with similar conditions?
Definitely.
Mickey Mouse here, zone. What brought you into? What results have you seen, and would you recommend this?
Oh yes, I would definitely recommend it. My sciatica was in full flare, and after the second one, it went down to a dull roar, and I don't feel it at all now. My back pain is better, so it's helped a lot.
Okay, so you would recommend this? It's working for you? You haven't had any side effects, no negative effects from this?
Nope, none whatsoever.
Okay, well thank you very much. Okay, and we have, what brought you into the clinic? I'll see if I can get you a favorable picture here. There we go.
I was highly questionable that you would do me any good, but I have been corrected, and I have gained much better balance, as well as a lot of the pain in my legs is gone.
Okay, and how many sessions have you done to this point?
6.
Any negative side effects?
None.
Okay, so you're happy and you would recommend this to other people?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, well thank you very much. Okay, and we'll go to our last patient of the hour. Okay, what brought you in, sir? And just tell us a little bit about your experiences.
Okay, actually my wife brought me in. She come to one of your open house sessions and thought that this would be something that would be good for me overall. I was involved in sports my whole life and had my knees replaced twice and my shoulder replaced twice and one of those kind of things. And I was was very skeptical when I went into the program, and it's something that you can't understand how it works, but it works. And you know, it's like getting like where I am here now, it's like getting a deep massage. I mean, it just relaxes you. My balance is better. It cured my neuropathy. I had neuropathy in my hands and my feet. That is gone. I had sciatica. It took some of that, and I'm, you know, now I guess you could say I'm in a tune-up state, so to speak. But each one of the treatment, it's just a great relaxing feeling from that standpoint. It takes away any pain or anxiety or muscle tightness or any of that kind of stuff. I don't understand how it works, but I don't need to know it.
Okay. So you had sciatica neuropathy in your hands and feet, and that's gone for the most part?
Right. And it is gone. I mean, from that
it is gone.
It's gone. I mean, I'll have some reoccurring feelings from time to time, but they don't. It's not like it was before, where it comes and stays, or you have pain. I don't have no pain with it at all. So from that standpoint.
Okay, so would you recommend this to other people?
Oh, very definitely. I've given out a lot of cards. It's difficult to explain to somebody that doesn't understand, you know, if they don't come and kind of listen to it. Because I'm not smart enough to even get close to explaining it. And it is very effective. It really is. I would recommend it, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Mr. Lowe, you've been doing, how many sessions of PEMF therapy have you done? 27. And have you had any side effects or any bad things from doing the therapy?
Absolutely no side effects, had nothing but good effects.
Okay, what are some of the good effects that you've seen?
Well, when I showed up, my ankles were swollen twice their size. I had bladder problems. I was leaping up, and every time I turn over in bed at night, I'd leap up and run to the bathroom. All of those have disappeared as a result of our treatment. My neuropathy was so severe in my legs, and my feet up to my legs, I had to sleep with a pillow between my knees. That's gone.
4 years ago, I had hip replacement surgery on my right hip. That worked out fine for about 2.5 years. Then pain started creeping back up, and it was more and more intense. I went back to the surgeon, and eventually, after a few shots of cortisone, they decided that since that wasn't helping much, maybe I should have exploratory surgery and see what's wrong. That didn't quite appeal to me. You know that in a matter of 3 sessions, I was so relieved of pain that I canceled that scheduled surgery.
Okay. So what brought you in here today? Or when you came in?
My knees gave up on me. I couldn't get up off the ground. Now I couldn't get inside out of a car.
Yeah.
It takes me a long time. Now getting up like a 19-year-old kid.
Okay, fantastic. Now you had type 2 diabetes when you came in?
2.
Now what is your blood sugar doing now?
I reduced that. Sometimes I have to take a chocolate to bring the sugar up. It went too far down.
It went too far down?
Yeah.
So they had to take you off some medication in?
So I gotta see my doctor now. So he's gonna make that decision.
Okay, so it went down low enough that you need to go see your doctor about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so your knees, you had trouble getting up. Once you squatted down, now you're popping right up?
Yeah, popping right up.
Now you, as far as prostate, you were getting up several times a night?
Yeah, I was getting up 5-6 times a night. Now I'm getting up once a night.
Okay, fantastic. And one of the things that I thought was really remarkable was the sore on your leg that you'd had for how long?
Diabetics usually have a sores. I had a mosquito bite and I scratched it there for 4 years.
For 4 years.
Now it healed.
Now it heals. And that only took, what, a couple of weeks before we started seeing some?
3 weeks.
Okay, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to take a quick look at it. Now this was actually
open wound.
an open wound that was about this big, and now, as you can see it now, it's almost healed. It's almost completely healed.
4 inches now, it's just about gone.
Okay, so aches and pains, all the aches and pains are gone?
Everything's gone. I had a shoulder problem when I cut my hedges, lift my arms too high. That's gone.
Okay, so you're sleeping better. How about your energy levels?
Oh, energy levels can't be even compared to, you know. I ride the bicycle. I do all these. I go in the pool 3 times a week. Swim.
So you're happy with your results so far?
Very happy.
Okay. Okay, mister, what brought you in here to this fine establishment?
Well, I came in because I broke my wife, and you gave me a treatment on my back, just for a testing, and my back immediately I feel much better, and I've been getting the treatment in the back and my shoulders, and I feel great with it.
Okay, now prostate. How many times were you waking up a night before?
With prostate, I was waking up a couple of times every night. Now I'm sleeping all night through.
Okay, so that your symptoms, those kind of symptoms have improved. You're happy with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay, sir, what brought you into this fine establishment?
I first came in with my wife, tried out the PEMF chair, and had immediate results. So I've been coming on a regular basis. The biggest 3 things for me is my energy level is higher. I had pain in my back for the last 45 years after a car accident. It's gone now unless I really abuse it playing tennis, and then I can get treatment again. And I have arthritis in my neck, which would ache all the time, and now that's gone. So that's the biggest 3 things, but it's also helped reduce the number of times I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
All right.
So I'm very happy with it.
Well, thank you.
So I've had some low back issues, so I had 30 minutes of low back PEMF treatment, and I got out of the chair, and I was like a young man, and so I started continuing with it. This is my 22nd visit, and anything from men's prostate issues to back issues to shoulder, neck issues, the PEMF has really been very beneficial to me.
Okay, here we are. Now, what brought you into the clinic?
I had sciatica pain in my hip. Couldn't hardly walk.
Okay, and so is it better now?
I have no pain in my hip, none whatsoever.
Okay. The sciatica, you still got a little bit in your heel?
Just a little in my heel, but it's getting better.
Okay.
Yes.
How many sessions have you done?
9 or 10.
Okay. And any side effects, any bad reactions, or anything, any negative things?
The only, I just feel better every time I have a treatment. And I've had other little things dry up. But
okay.
I have to give that credit to it.
Okay, so you would recommend this to other people?
Everybody, even if you don't have a problem, come in and do it.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
And I have sciatica as well, and my feet are sort of trembling and numb.
Okay, so neuropathy.
Neuropathy.
And how many sessions have you done so far?
This is number 9.
Number 9?
Yes.
Have you seen any improvement yet?
Oh yes, very much, very much.
Okay. Any side effects, any negative things?
Nothing negative at all.
Okay, so you're happy with your results so far? You're progressing the way you should?
Absolutely.
Okay, and you would recommend this to other people?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, we will go. And what brought you in today?
Well,
or
actually,
when you came in?
Actually, I came in with my husband to support him, but I did have a minor hip problem, and that has been totally healed. No more pain, and just overall well-being. I'm into health anyway, but this just makes me feel better overall.
Okay, so you're happy with your results?
Absolutely.
No side effects or any negative things to report?
No.
You would recommend this to other people?
Yes, I would. Yes.
Okay. Now, have you had any an increase in energy? Have you noticed any clarity of thought and things like that?
I think so. With the energy, I think I do have a lot more energy.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Been here 10 times.
sciatica is better. The shins don't hurt anymore, and seems to work for me.
Okay, any negative side effects or anything?
No.
Okay. You're happy with your progression so far?
Yeah.
Would you recommend this to others?
I would. I recommend it, and I'm coming back again for I think for 20, and do the next group of what is it, the
group of therapy session?
Yeah, and I think it's helping me a lot.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I grew up in northern Wisconsin, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We were a very close-knit family. When it was summertime, springtime, we all planted the garden together. As soon as the ice melted, we were on the river or in the lake swimming, fished and hunted year-round. You couldn't get me in the house or in the chair. So I was probably one of the few kids that actually hated cartoons. I couldn't keep myself still. So I was always going constantly. And in my early 20s, I had 4 pretty major accidents. I was in a head-on car accident. I actually went through the glass. Second accident, drunk guy pulled out in front of me. I T-boned him. The third accident was by far the worst. I was assaulted by a gang and left for dead with my head split open and unconscious. And then I had a lifting injury after that tore muscles in my lower back so badly that I couldn't move a muscle for 21 days. They wondered if I was ever going to walk again normally. Everything I did caused tremendous pain. So if I would go out and do anything athletic at all, I'd be in bed for 3 days recovering. And by the time I was in my early 30s, it was just, I just wanted to end it. I just couldn't handle it anymore. Just couldn't deal with the pain. Obviously, after my injuries, the first person I went to see was my chiropractor. But I realized that, my chiropractor couldn't put me together. So I really did an exhaustive search for better chiropractors, more educated, more knowledgeable, and I traveled the country going to see them. They used a lot of different modalities. Everything that exists in the world of chiropractic, alternative or complementary modalities I've done. It didn't matter what I tried, I never got better. It never reduced the pain in my body. Maybe it lasted an hour, and in most cases it didn't work at all. But because of the severity of the pain and the fact that I couldn't sleep, I really wasn't left with any other option other than to keep looking and searching the world over. When I discovered Professor Pappas's website, he really told me things that I'd never studied or read before. And that's really, his development and advancement of this category of technology in Europe is what really drove me to learn more about it. I was so fascinated by what I read online that I called some practitioners in Europe. And they all said the same thing. Oh, your story? It's not a problem. We can help you with that. And so, thinking that was too good to be true, I started asking to talk to their patients or people that had stories like mine. And they were very open and willing to let me talk to these people. So person after person after person who had stories similar to mine, injuries similar to mine, all said, I tried it, I've done it, and I got, near total relief, if not complete relief. And it was just, I remember that time period, those few weeks in my life. It was like, I finally arrived after all of these years, 20-some years of searching. I quickly discovered that the PEMF wasn't available for purchase in the United States. Although there were people that owned them here and used them, I couldn't buy one and acquire one for myself, and that's what I wanted to do. So I found somebody that was making them out of a shed in their backyard, and I bought a system, and I started experiencing it. And I had the same experience as all the people that I'd been talking to. On the first day, it erased 100% of the pain out of my body. That day was Friday, September 29th of 2006. I went to sleep that night with 0 pain for the first time in over 20 years. Again, I remember that night. I remember waking up going, oh my goodness, it felt like a miracle to me. I was just beside myself. Obviously, what went through my mind was how many people that had stories like mine that were living a life that was similar to mine. I mean, I was consumed. I was consumed by my experience and the fact that how exciting it would be to help the rest of the world have a similar experience.